Hello everyone, this is just a very quick note from me to say that this is a clip from the Wild Endeavour podcast. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, feel free. Also subscribe here. I've been a bit slow and just to be honest, a bit demotivated with content recently, but I'm picking myself back up, so feel free to subscribe. We're going to be making regular Doctor Who content in the build up to the Centenary, the 60th, everything. And yeah, this is just me saying I'm still about, enjoy the content, and I'll see you next time. But yeah, that's that tangent aside. Because I want to actually talk about what we have got, because obviously Power of the Doctor, we've spoken about the title, but there's more stuff that's been revealed in that. Most notably, we've had numerous images of, the Master, and other characters. I think the most notable things are, obviously, the Master, they mentioned that he's going to wear multiple disguises in the episode. Mm-hmm. That's one of the main things that they dropped. There's also going to be, according to the magazine, which I think was reiterated in the Radio Times, like a Sherlock-style twist at the end, which
every theory I've seen surrounding that is
slightly terrifying me. It's slightly terrifying me because obviously, knowing Chris Chibnall and knowing how much of a supporter he is of like the old law, I am just really worried that they aren't going to pull like what some people were joking about on Twitter of like they're actually siblings now, or like
they're the same person.
Some other weird twist with the Master where it's like actually he was the timeless child. And it's like, like the thing is, I was kind of at a point with the Centenary where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it happen, and we'll see how we go. And it's like, because I'm kind of at a point where I don't expect anything from this era anymore. Like, I don't go into it being like, oh, this is going to be class, this is going to be great, I go into it going, we'll see what it's like, and if I end up enjoying it, then anything's a plus, but, like, that was my attitude going into it, like, oh, it looks maybe fun, and then, like, I saw that, and I was like, oh, God. No.
I've been dreading it since the beginning. Ever since I watched that trailer, I've been like, this is going to be dreadful.
I think for me, I'm more just
about it.
I want to be hyped with everyone. You know what I mean? It's that annoying thing of like I want to be excited, and I think I've kind of been willing it.
Well, even like, just talking about it, just I feel nothing. I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I haven't even done like a big Centenary breakdown news. I did like a little quick one, but like there's some things we're going to talk about which I haven't talked about on the main channel yet.
That's the thing. When you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast that we have more to talk about, I was like, oh no, yeah, we do, don't we? I don't want to talk about the Centenary. The only thing that like somewhat interested me was that like we see that in one of the promo shots, the Master, he's holding like a small figure, and people are like assuming that it could be Yaz.
I think.
Yeah.
But then
and like the tissue compression eliminator also kills people. But at the same time, will Chibnall do that? Like, I know he's written Exit Wounds where he killed, like, two of the main characters from Torchwood.
But then you've also got to think, in his era, like, I think someone pointed this out, the only person to die of note since Grace has been, like, Jericho. And that's been, like, it, in terms of, like, the meaningful character main deaths. And that's not even, like, a main companion, so...
That's the thing.
I can't see him.
Even if it is Yaz, and it's like, the compression... tissue... Oh, I forgot what it's called. The shrinky mabob device thing.
The tissue compression eliminator, the shrinky mabob.
Yeah, he's definitely... Even if it is Yaz, somehow the Doctor's going to find a way to reverse it.
Oh, it's going to be reversed. Yeah. I mean, Ashad... he was miniaturized, and he's back, maybe they'll use the same trick. I don't know. I think there's a couple of things that have, like... These are, like, my major concerns. Obviously, what we mentioned before with the whole, what were we talking about before? Before the miniaturized picture? Talking about, like, the Sherlock twist.
Oh, yeah, the twist.
I'm worried about that because I'm like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to make it all that it was all, like... The thing is, right... I think I've spoken to you about this before. There is no way they can make the Timeless Child end well.
Yeah,
and
no.
What I mean by that
they don't have like room to like give it a satisfying payoff.
If they do it so that it's like my past doesn't define me.
Yeah, they've done that.
They're just literally just doing the same thing that they've done for both Revolution of the Daleks and Flux. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it so that we actually explore it, then you run yourself even more risk of, like, you know, messing around with the continuity and making people dislike it even more.
Yeah. Also, you're sacrificing, like, you also don't have time to do that anyway, because, like,
no,
you're bunging off everything else in the episode.
If you do a big twist where it's like, oh, it was all a lie, people
then
are
none
like,
of
well,
it
why
mattered.
were we following it then? And
yeah.
Like the fans of this era are going to be sat there going, well, we got invested in this, you know, hoping it was going to go somewhere, and then you just pull a 180? Like, what the hell? Like, basically what I'm saying is there's no way he can wrap it up that's, like, going to satisfy the majority of people. You know, it's not like, say, for example, you know how people got annoyed at, like, the hybrid and stuff, right? Because it was, like, the hybrid answer was kind of just, I don't know. Yeah. Like, there were ways you could wrap up the hybrid that people would have been happy with, right? Like, there are cool ideas you could have done with that. With the Timeless Child, it's kind of written itself into, like, a weird corner. Whereas, like, where I feel like, however you resolve it, people are going to be like, well, what was that? But the other thing that concerns me beyond the twist thing is I was reading in Doctor Who magazine, Sophie Aldred was literally saying that she was only meant to be a cameo until, like, August. And I'm pretty sure that's when they started filming with her, or were wrapping up filming with her. So I'm really worried about the inclusion of these guys now being glorified cameos.
I sort of always saw them being cameos, because I'm like, well, there isn't enough space to tell a story with Cybermasters and Daleks and the Master and various costumes and all the Doctors and Regeneration Store.
Yeah, no. But cameos are one thing, right? But it's the sort of cameos where they don't actually, like, contribute anything, and they're just sort of, like,
no, the episodes are just going to be, hey, remember this thing?
Yeah, and I'm like, but, like, there's so many cool things you could do with Ace and Tegan. I'm just worried they're going to be treated exactly like Kate and Jack were in Flux in Series 12. It's like, they're just here, you learn nothing about them, they're just here as window dressing, and I'm really worried that that's going to be what they do with them now. And I think the fact that they've been added in so late into the game, that's worrying in itself, because, like, how much time has he actually had to write them in? Is it going to feel really forced? And, like, I saw in the magazine as well, they were like, oh, you know, like, the director, I think, J. Magnus Stone, was like, oh, we'll fix that in post. It's like, oh, no. They're admitting that they're admitting to that in the magazine, like, and obviously, you know, some things do have to get fixed in post, right? But kind of fixing it in post kind of has some negative connotations in the industry of just, like, you know, having to fill in large chunks of your TV show with, like, you know, editors struggling to, like, piece it together, and I'm really worried that that's what it's going to be. Especially, what doesn't help this, right, is that the last episode we had was bloody Legend of the Sea Devils, and Legend of the Sea Devils was probably one of the worst edited episodes of Doctor Who.
Like, slapstick, just, like, thrown together
it's like slapdash, episode we've seen in recent memory. So coming off the back of that, my expectations really aren't high for... And I think just having the director outright say, like, in the magazine, I will fix it in post, that raised some red flags for me. I want to be excited for this special. I really do. Like I've said, like, I want to have fun with it. I want to enjoy it. It's the last one. The year is going to be over. We're going to have a new thing, and, you know, great. But, like, as much as it's almost like Doctor Who itself, and, like, everything we learn about the Centenary is trying to, like, deliberately trying its hardest to make me, like, less excited or less, you know, likely to be excited. Like, it's saying all the wrong things for me, right? It's pushing all the wrong buttons. Oh, we'll fix it in post. Oh, you know, I was added in last minute. Oh, there's a big Sherlock-style twist with, well, you know, the characters. Like, oh no.
Yeah. The more I hear about it, the more I'm just dreading it.
Because I was always of the mindset of, like, oh, it's just one episode left, you know, it's the end of an era, like, it can't be that bad. And then some people are like, yeah, but, like, what damage could be done in that 90 minutes, though? Could he mess up Ace? Like, I do think there's a lot riding on it, like, because as well, it's like, because it is such a big episode, it's like, it's not even just a normal special, it's like... celebrating 100 years of the BBC. It's like the last episode for Jodie Whittaker as a whole. And above anything else, I think she deserves a decent fucking episode to end on. Because, like, I do think that as much as, like, her Doctor hasn't been for me, you know, I think she, you know, has had a lot of unwarranted just shit for no reason.
I think it'll definitely be one of these ones that's remembered, and I think it'll probably like. I think even if I think it's dreadful, right? I think it'll be like have a similar thing.
I think it's gonna be entertainingly bad. At least it's gonna be like at the very least, if it is bad, it'll be like, you know, it's not gonna be boring. I don't think. I don't see it being boring. I can see myself.
It may be one of those episodes that's enjoyable in the kind of turn your brain off for like 90 minutes. And then...
I mean, I feel like that's what a lot of people say about just the Chibnall era as a whole, right? Like, if you don't think about it, you can
which,
like,
you know, is not... Yeah.
Which isn't exactly high praise.
Which is not how I like consuming media.
No. But, like, yeah, I want to be hyped for the Centenary, but there's always just these little niggling things where I'm like, oh, no. You really couldn't have said anything worse for my, like, excitement. I want it to be good.
Oh yeah. I'm not one of these people that like wants to go in and it just be a disaster.
Like, I think some people think I go into Doctor Who being like, oh, I think it's gonna be shit. I think it's gonna be terrible.
I went into Legends of Cedar was wanting it to be. I was so hyped for that. The concept was really good.
Like, even in an era that I'm not really a big fan of, I want it to be good. But it's like with you know, a lot of other episodes in this era, like everything I am hearing about it is just making me less and less enthused. It's also just the fact that it's, again, as we sort of stated, it's taken us so long to hear anything about it that it's like all these sort of issues, although they might not seem connected at first, they kind of compound on top of each other and create this thing where it's like, not only are we barely hearing about it, but also when we do hear about it, it brings up more concerns than it does excitement. You know what I mean? It's like and it just becomes tiring, because I've tried so hard. Like, you know, people will remember, during Flux, I was trying to enjoy it, you know, first couple episodes. Even you, with Halloween Apocalypse, you were like, oh, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, you know, give it a chance, it's only episode 1 and stuff.
Well, that's my problem. I think the Centenary is going to be, like, I'm going to dislike it for the same reasons that I dislike the Halloween Apocalypse, where it's like, it's setting up way too much stuff whilst also trying to, like, tell its own story. You're like...
yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, I've tried to give this era the benefit of the doubt more than I think a lot of people think that I do.
Yeah. It's because you're evil theories, man.
Yeah, but even though I'm not one of these people who will, you know, say, like, who'll just decide that they're not going to enjoy something or won't give stuff a chance. No, even if it's, like, something that, like, if it's a team that I'm not really, like, vibing with, like, a Rising Star, I still want to like it. For example, right? Rick and Morty is a great example. Recent Rick and Morty, it's been coming out last couple of weeks. I think it's pretty mid to bad. But I've kind of gotten to the point of being, like, engaged with the characters now, and I still want it to be good. It's that sort of brand loyalty aspect, which, you know, we all have, but it's like, at the end of the day, I just want a decent episode of Doctor Who, because...
You've seen how good Doctor Who can be, and you want it to
be, and obviously, I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get that in, like, 2023 with the 60th and stuff.
You want to see the thing you love flourish.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to wait until 2023 to be confident in Doctor Who being, like, decent. I wish I could go into the Centenary being like, yes, it's going to be sick, can't wait. But I just can't. And that sucks, because I want to be able to say that.